Ever pondered what the signs of a troubled man might be? It's a question that more often than not goes unasked, yet its answers can reveal profound insights into the human condition. Today, we're going to explore this subject in depth, taking a closer look at the 5 significant signs that may indicate a man is troubled. Understanding these signs is not about judging or diagnosing, but rather about empathy and awareness. It's about being able to connect on a deeper level, to offer support and understanding when it's needed most. It's about recognizing that we all have our struggles, and sometimes those struggles are hidden beneath the surface, disguised as something else entirely. So as we delve into these signs, remember that knowledge is power. The better we understand these signs, the better equipped we are to respond in a compassionate and supportive way. Stay tuned as we unravel the signs of a troubled man. The first sign to watch out for is emotional instability. It's a term you may have heard before, but what does it really mean? Emotional instability, often referred to as emotional dysregulation, is a characteristic often associated with a few mental health conditions. However, it can also be a sign of a troubled individual, even in the absence of a diagnosed disorder. At its core, emotional instability refers to an individual's inability to manage or regulate their emotional responses to certain situations or stimuli. This can manifest in various ways, but some of the most common signs include mood swings, emotional outbursts, and difficulty managing emotions. Now let's delve a bit deeper into these characteristics. Mood swings are a primary sign of emotional instability. This doesn't refer to the normal ebb and flow of feelings we all experience. Instead, it's about rapid, intense, and often unpredictable shifts in mood. One moment, a person might be jubilant, cheerful, and full of energy. The next, they could be engulfed in a wave of sadness, anger, or apathy. Emotional outbursts are another common sign. These are sudden, intense displays of emotion that seem disproportionate to the situation at hand. It could be a burst of anger over a minor inconvenience or an overwhelming wave of sadness triggered by a seemingly innocuous event. Lastly, there's the difficulty in managing emotions. This is a bit more subtle but equally significant. It's not just about the intensity of the emotions, but the struggle to control them. It could be the inability to calm oneself down after an outburst, the struggle to pull oneself out of a depressive episode, or the constant battle to keep anxiety at bay. In essence, emotional instability isn't just about the emotions themselves, but the struggle to manage and control them. It's about the internal turmoil that comes from being at the mercy of one's own feelings, without the tools to navigate them effectively. So, emotional instability could be the first red flag to a troubled man. It's a complex issue, and like any other sign, it doesn't exist in isolation. But understanding it can be a crucial first step in recognizing and helping a troubled individual. Moving on, the second sign of a troubled man can be social withdrawal. Social withdrawal is when an individual intentionally reduces their social engagement and interaction. Often, it's a gradual process and can be easily overlooked. It's like a slow fade from the vibrant colors of social life to the dull shades of solitude. Social withdrawal can manifest in a variety of ways. For instance, a once outgoing person might begin to avoid social gatherings. Maybe they start declining invitations to parties, preferring to stay home alone instead of mingling with friends. Or perhaps they show up but seem distant, as if their body is present but their mind is miles away. Another symptom of social withdrawal is a decreased interest in hobbies. You know, those activities that once filled them with joy and excitement, whether it's playing guitar, hiking up mountains, or painting landscapes. If these activities are left untouched and gathering dust, it can be a sign of social withdrawal. Then there's isolation from friends and family. This is not about needing some alone time, which we all require every now and then. It's about consistently choosing solitude over the company of loved ones. It's about the lengthy gaps in communication, the unanswered calls, the unread messages. It's about the vacant seat at the dinner table, the empty spot on the couch during movie nights. It's important to remember that social withdrawal can be a cry for help, a sign that something is not right. It's not about being antisocial or introverted. It's about a shift in behavior, a change that distances a person from their social world. And why is it a sign of a troubled man? Well, humans are social creatures. We thrive on connection and interaction. When someone begins to withdraw from these, it often means they are struggling with something internally. It could be depression, anxiety, stress, or any number of mental health issues. Thus, social withdrawal is another sign that shouldn't be overlooked. It's a silent call for understanding, patience, and support. It's a reminder for us to reach out, to check in, and to remind them that they're not alone. The third sign of a troubled man is the use of unhealthy coping mechanisms. Now, everyone has their own ways of dealing with stress or emotional pain. However, when these methods become harmful to oneself or others, they've crossed into the territory of unhealthy coping mechanisms. Unhealthy coping mechanisms are behaviors that people use to handle difficult situations or emotions, but that instead of solving the problem, only provide temporary relief, while often causing more harm in the long run. These mechanisms can take many forms, and while they may provide momentary relief, their repetitive use can lead to a cycle of self-destruction. One common example is substance abuse. This could mean turning to alcohol or drugs as a means to escape reality or numb pain. What starts as a few drinks to unwind after a long day can quickly spiral into dependency, with serious health and social consequences. Another example is excessive eating. Food, particularly those rich in sugar or fats, can trigger the release of chemicals in the brain that make us feel good. However, using food as an emotional crutch can lead to weight gain, health problems like diabetes or heart disease, and poor self-esteem. Gambling is yet another unhealthy coping mechanism. The thrill of a potential win can distract from feelings of stress or unhappiness. But the losses can mount up quickly, leading to financial problems, relationship strain, and even addiction. These are just a few examples, but the list of potential unhealthy coping mechanisms is vast. It could include anything from compulsive shopping to self-harm. The key is to identify these behaviors for what they are: a cry for help from a troubled man. Remember, these mechanisms are not solutions. They're band-aids on deep wounds, quick fixes that mask rather than mend. They offer fleeting comfort but leave lasting damage in their wake, both physically and emotionally. Unhealthy coping mechanisms should raise an alarm for a possible troubled man. They are a clear sign that something deeper is going on beneath the surface, a sign that help may be needed. So let's keep an eye out for these signs and offer our support where we can. A fourth on our list is irrational behavior. Now, what do we mean by irrational behavior, you may wonder? Well, it's when a person acts impulsively, makes decisions without thinking them through, or behaves in ways that are simply illogical. It's like driving a car with your eyes closed. We all know it's not a smart move, yet irrational behavior can make a person do just that. One of the most common examples of irrational behavior is impulsive decision-making. This can range from making big life-changing decisions on a whim to engaging in risky behaviors without considering the potential consequences. These decisions may feel exciting in the moment, but they often lead to regret and harm in the long run. Another sign of irrational behavior is reckless behavior. This could be anything from excessive speeding while driving to engaging in harmful activities without any regard for personal safety or the safety of others. It's like playing with fire, knowing it can burn but doing it anyway. Lastly, a lack of logical thinking is a clear sign of irrational behavior. When a man is troubled, he may find it hard to think clearly, making decisions based on emotions rather than logic. You may notice him jumping to conclusions, making hasty judgments, or acting on misinformation without verifying it. In essence, when a man's actions seem to defy logic, and he consistently makes poor choices without considering the consequences, it's a clear sign that he's in turmoil. Irrational behavior is another key sign of a troubled man. Lastly, disturbed sleep patterns can also indicate a troubled man. Sleep, as we know, is a crucial part of our daily routine, vital for our physical health and mental well-being. When this pattern gets disrupted, it can be a telltale sign of underlying issues. So, what are disturbed sleep patterns? Well, it can manifest in various forms such as insomnia, where one struggles to fall asleep or stay asleep throughout the night. There's also excessive sleeping, where a person spends an inordinate amount of time sleeping, often as a way to escape from reality. And let's not forget nightmares, vivid, frightening dreams that can jolt someone awake, leaving them in a state of anxiety and fear. Each of these instances disrupts the normal sleep cycle, leading to fatigue and affecting one's mood, concentration, and overall quality of life. Remember, consistent sleep disturbances aren't just a sign of poor sleep hygiene, but can also point towards deeper emotional or psychological distress. Disturbed sleep patterns can be the final sign of a troubled man. In this video, we've identified 5 signs of a troubled man. They include emotional instability, social withdrawal, unhealthy coping mechanisms, irrational behavior, and disturbed sleep patterns. Each of these signs is a cry for help. A red flag that someone may be struggling. It's crucial to recognize these signs, not only for the well-being of the person in question, but for everyone around them as well. Remember, recognizing these signs can be the first step towards helping a troubled man.